Welcome to One Shell Behind. This is Nick.
And Monica.
And we are back for our 6th episode going through Vanuatu Proud. It's the 6th episode because the other, they don't count. Because the series is like, I don't really know how to define it.
What is math?
What is math? No, it doesn't. It's not a math issue. It's so you have the primary series, right? Is based around Vanuatu Proud, but we have the 2 extra episodes for Kava Skin, and then the one that was before everything, and then we have the one that we talked about, Island Fresh, the song, the introducing song, the opening song for the podcast, and those are like, they don't like count in a normal episode count because the episode count is only focusing on the Vanuatu. This is making sense. It's very clear in my head.
Eloquently stated.
It's not eloquently stated, but it's very clear in my head. We are one show behind. We should probably starting over. We should probably go with the introduction that One Shell Behind is a podcast where we drink kava and shallowly dive into kava adjacent music. And in our first series, we are exploring the album Vanuatu Proud, the 2021 release from Nawarake. We are on the 6th track of the album, Golden Eagle. Golden Eagle is the track we're going through today. We're looking at the Golden Eagle. And Golden Eagle is actually one of the first ones that's just kind of solely Nawarake, like a solo one. Kind of actually.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, the other ones were a lot more of.
Lady Rudy was busy today.
Lady Rudy was featured on I think all of the first 5 songs. We have features from Stan Antas. We have Yashing. A whole number of different...
It's like the Avengers of Vanuatu music.
Yes, the Avengers had been featured on each of those first ones. This is the first kind of solo song, kind of harkens back to some of Nawarake's earlier albums. And this one is, really focused on hip-hop, really kind of demonstrates his hip-hop style and rapping style. And... you can tell the song is just different. I think the one
there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. It's a fast-paced song. The chorus transitions into the verse so kind of seamlessly. It's almost hard to tell that you're in the chorus until you're already halfway in it. It took me a couple times listening through it, like really like actively listening to realize that I am in the chorus. And we've left the verse, and the verse comes in again, and it's really pretty cool once you start noticing those things.
It's a beautiful allegory to being drunk and being out of control, and how the chaos just consumes you.
Yeah, so we will get into it, but Golden Eagle is a whiskey, and this is a song about drinking and driving, or not drinking and driving.
Advocating to
not drink and drive. I think, advocating to not drink and drive is a good way to put it. But before we jump into the song, what are we drinking tonight? Drinking kava.
From Vava'u.
Still kava Vava'u. We do have in the pipeline some kava from Iowa.
Oh, yeah?
So maybe even the next episode, maybe a few episodes after that, we might be able to start this with something a little bit different on the type of kava that we'll be drinking, but definitely still a kava Vava'u, quality stuff. Highly recommended if you can get any kava tonga wherever you are, and especially kava Vava'u. So, with that said, I think we will have a cup of kava, and we'll be back with Golden Eagle.
Here we go.
Shells up.
Yeah, please, no drink, more drive. You may got one life, no more. Golden eagles try to fly, but then drive into a light post. Rest in peace, driver in me, drunk him, lose some life. Oh, that me go to church, me sing out hallelujah. Want them kakai la blood so that me stop lo malakula. Who is he? Who is she? I think him school or USB. Student in me, missed him school from him, been drink one duty free. Music be like my medicine, it's like my Panadol. It's my fresh blow 200 when I'm at the Nakamall. Easily, they buy the passports and they travel visa free. Plenty come no country finish, show some CCECC. You me everyone, stand up strong and fight to free West Papua Bay. Hong Kong, you me quite right. Uncle Donald Trump is busy, wants to build a wall. Uncle Matthew's busy to blow, kill him like no Nakamall. my good Bislama and a little bit of Spanish. English, no blotella, move together, awesome bandanas. Anti-Marie, can I buy a tuluk? Him no pay on twisties, blow me man, I am not a bullock, yeah. On the stage and I try to move the crowd. I try to make him sing out, awesome Mimi, brother cloud. Golden Eagles try to...
All right. That was the first chorus and verse for Golden Eagle. Track 6 on Vanuatu Proud. As we said earlier, the song, the title, Golden Eagle, is referring to a brand whiskey, a name of a whiskey there. I don't know if it's the brand necessarily, but
it
everyone...
used to be 950 Vatu, I wonder.
950, yeah. Or 850, wasn't it 850 to start? I could have sworn it was like 850, and then people would just refer to the bottle as 850 or something like that, or 950. Either way, it was just like the cost was... It was the cheapest and most prolific bottle.
It's everywhere.
And I imagine it's still that way. It's very much, I say, the Golden Eagle synonymous with just knowing that you're referring to alcohol. Probably not even whiskey in this case, just like generally that alcohol is being
spirits,
drunk. Yeah.
General spirits.
Yeah, so it's just like it is, like the name is synonymous in that way. And, the song itself is specifically advocating to not drink and drive. It starts with the main chorus about, Golden Eagle flying and running into a light post, right? The kind of the not personification of the name bottle, but the actual I don't remember what is the word. It's not a personification, because personification would be like, or is
metaphor?
No, it's not metaphor, but whatever the word I'm looking for is, you're taking something in, like representing it as like what it actually is. I'm gonna cut that part off. We'll cut that and we'll come back to it. But the just the idea that like the name of the bottle, Golden Eagle, is an actual eagle and it's flying, and then it crashes into a light post, and then you transition to it's a car or it's a bus. It's crashed this light post because they've been drinking. The references to students missing school, or students from USP missing school because they've got a bottle of duty free. Like kind of the implications of what excessive alcohol use or alcohol use in general can cause.
Yeah, like inappropriate alcohol consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, this song, this chorus, there's just a lot. There's a lot going on. And it kind of feels like at first you're just hearing like a bunch of various conversations that are going on around you, but he kind of just like pulls it all together. But like when you first sit down and listen to the song, it feels like there's various themes, and then he kind of weaves them all together. Mm-hmm. But I really did like how he rhymed Alleluia with Malakuya.
There is a certain like just the like regardless of like the meaning of the lyrics or what the intent is behind the theme of the song, there's just this kind of real kind of highlighting the talent of Nawarake in creating a song and kind of weaving together different languages, whether it's Islam or English.
But he's always done that, right?
Yeah, he's always done that. I think it's just within this album, like it's hard to. I don't think it's been as noticeable because it's been like really in a awesome way. There's been a lot of guest stars and guest appearances, like people performing together in the songs. But in this case, with it being Nawarake's kind of like first solo song on the album, if you're going through it from the first track onwards in chronological order, like you're getting to this point where this one's just Nawarake, right? It's like there was the beat produced by Rim Selecta, but other than that, the only performer in it is
Nawarake.
Yeah, and
and that's a really good point, because this is the first time he's alone on the album, but this is also the first time. Like, okay, it's not a hot take to want to prevent drunk driving, right? Like that's a very easy, feel-good thing that you could say to get behind. But Nawarake kind of goes for the jugular, right? Like he brings up West Papua, he brings up Hong Kong, he brings up Trump's border wall, like. In his own standalone song for the first time on the album, halfway through the album, he just kind of comes out swinging. I'm like, yeah, no, I mean, they're all causes you should support, but also, like, you don't immediately associate them with drunk driving.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, there's like almost like a chaos to like the theme is like, given the name and given the immediacy of the chorus, don't drink and drive. But then you're right, like the the kind of the through line kind of just doesn't. It's not really a through line at that point.
No, he's just speaking about things he's passionate about,
Yeah.
right? And then he makes a little quip about how he's killing the light at the Nakama.
Yeah.
Like, it is classic fucking Nawarake.
There is, yeah. I mean, there's also kind of like I've always like, regardless of kind of like the detours along the way, there's this kind of. It felt like there's this through line of one, don't drink, but also like, why not kava, right? Like, why don't you kill the light at the Nakama, right? Like 200 is my medicine, right? Like there's that one's in the chorus. Like there's always those kind of influences there or references to kava throughout it as well.
And notably, he does mention that he is not a bullock. So I just want to
he's not a bullock.
Reiterate
He's not
that.
a bullock. We just really want to make sure that he's not a bullock. And he wants that tuluk, so don't give him twisties. It's. Why don't we go into the second chorus and second verse and get into the rest of this great song?
But then driving through a light post. Rest in peace, driver and me drunk and lose some life. Oh, time me go to church, me sing out hallelujah. Want them kakai la plot so time me stop lo malakula. Who is he? Who is she? I think him school or USB. Student and me miss some school from him and drink one duty free. Music be like a medicine, it's like my Panadol. It's my fresh blow 200 when I'm at the Nakama. No good straight. I sing a song like La Di Da. Place blow tabu fire, place blow girlfriend with them body. Huh? Who your man now? Big fella boss blow south. No Nawarake, me still on foul blue, you blow wash 'em out. First up one he come, watch a Milo TBV. Caught around, I'm Tana finish. Thank you CC. What you say, I say, I am not a bullock. Placey hot too much, me drown a Milo mate vulu. Cyclone herald, then me come a couple only fly. Reckon good or current now, more on mama only cry. Money blow disaster, blow on man what he got need. Use some good or money, yeah, please, you know, pay him dream.
All right. That is the second chorus, second verse. Similar kind of themes, obviously with the chorus and the kind of the advocacy against drunk driving, references to kava, and then it's kind of like, I guess as I mentioned earlier, detours in different directions. Still referring to himself or making sure that everyone knows he's not a bullock. So
yeah, and then like keeping in line with it, he mentions different places in Vanuatu, right? Like he references the South, he references Matevulu, but then he also references TC Herald. So that was like what one of the major cyclones of 2020. So it's like it's another I don't know, time indicator of what was going on in his head when this song was coming out. Yeah,
kind of an anti-corruption message, like don't misuse those funds. Like there's people who need them. Like the references to like homes being destroyed and the recovery there, or the necessary recovery there. I mean, these like recovery projects take years and even longer in some cases.
And a single storm can just wipe out.
Yeah, and it's
century-old communities.
Yeah, you have like these major storms that cause the recovery processes to slow down, and then you have, cause major recovery responses or necessary recovery responses, and then the storms are, they're not just going to stop right through the recovery phase. They're going to have continual concerns and risks of storms coming in, and smaller storms would cause more damage because of previous storms that have already come through, and like the need to go through that recovery process, quickly, in order to prepare for the next storm and, ever increasing storms. But I digress.
It's the damn season.
I certainly have moved away from the song, but I think like he's got a lot of different references that go in different directions. That one kind of moving towards that anti-corruption conversation around like not misusing the funds and
I'm gonna pivot from what you're saying.
Go ahead.
There's a reference to Did You See Me on the DVD, and do you remember ages ago, maybe a decade plus, when Nawarake produced, was it White?
The White Album?
No, it was before that. It was when he was on a night chum. It was something about white kava skin man.
On a night chum?
Anyway, so he had these like young little baby Nawarake had these music videos of himself, right?
Well, I remember there was the ones that were like for Peace Corps videos. I remember those. Were those?
No, it was like an album he
album?
made. Yeah, it was like before Beyonce dropped Lemonade.
Is that what that's the time reference? It's like before Beyonce dropped Lemonade and after Beyonce dropped Lemonade. That's how you gauge his styles.
I made the mistake of sharing it with one of the Vanuatu musician Avengers, and Worke got quite mad at me because it was it impacted his reputation.
Oh yes, he has eliminated all previous or quote unquote what he thinks of as embarrassing. I would argue and disagree with him, and I know a lot of people have been frustrated with when they've been unable to find previous productions because he cleaned out his YouTube. Like everything is like only to a certain point. Essentially, Island Fresh, and I guess that would have been the Ratness album in 2017. Pretty much anything before that
doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist on where you could find it. I'm sure if we went into like the Wayback Machine, we could probably find it.
Cameron Blackman. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, that was the album. And so, so when he says the DVD reference, that makes me think about that because I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to what kind of like materials he has available, right? Like, does he still produce DVDs or is it all like digital music?
Yeah.
Like, is he referencing the Cameron Blackman?
Yeah, probably not DVDs. I don't know, maybe. Like, Vanuatu is difficult because like one of the most interesting things from like Vanuatu to Tonga is like Tonga musicians just have their stuff on YouTube all the time. Like, it's really easy to find like new songs because they're always on YouTube.
Yeah.
And in Vanuatu, they don't really put anything up on YouTube or streaming platforms. Understandably, for a lot of the streaming platforms, you have to pay to even be able to do that. But they also actively monetize their stuff. They sell CDs or they sell like the codes to be able to go download it, which is great for the opportunity, like for people overseas to be able to do it. But you need someone in country to be able to get you that number. And if they don't offer that, and if it's only a CD, then you're only going to get it probably through there's a number of like Facebook pages that just kind of bootleg this stuff. So like your only option to get it if you're in country is not to pay them. So it'd be wonderful if there was a better way for them to like actually make money from it, especially from the overseas audience. I don't know if that's just, of course, in Tonga you get easy access to it, but they're not really monetizing it, so you can easily listen to it, but you're unable to really support them. Though some of them have been on like streaming services, but I know that's like probably making pennies on the dollar every time you actually play the song. But
yeah, food for thought.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we go into the last chorus and last verse, which takes a kind of swing in a different direction. So probably add to the overall kind of chaotic feeling of the track.
Eagles try to fly, but then drive into a light post. Rest in peace, driver and me drunk him lose him life. Oh, tami go church me sing out hallelujah. Want them kakai la plap so tami stop long malakula. Who is he? Who is she? I think him school or USB student in me missed him school from him. Been drink one duty free. Music be like my medicine. It's like my Panadol. It's my fresh blow 200 when I'm at the knock 'em all. No more drink, more drive. No more drink, more drive. Try and put them small value long life. Golden eagles don't fly and young men die and leave behind the family to cry. No more drink, more drive. No more drink, more drive. Try and put them small value long life. You savage kill them all innocent man, more woman, mommy fella, everyone eat tight.
All right, and that was the last chorus and last verse, and obviously you've been listening all the way through. It would be kind of weird if you dropped in the podcast at this point. But any listeners are welcome, especially if they only want to listen to the last third or quarter of the episode. It takes this swing from like here you got the chorus, and then the last part is very much more like just kind of singing.
It's a lot more somber. It's a lot more direct.
Yeah, and it's just like, don't drink and drive, put some value on life, like Golden Eagle specifically as the reference, but alcohol in general causes, deaths in young people, and be cautious and be wary of it.
And the people who are left behind, right? Left to mourn.
Yeah, to deal with it. So yeah, it's a much more somber ending. There's a lot of like, it's an interesting collection of a song because I mean, I guess in some ways, as you mentioned, it is kind of like chaotic in the sense that there's certainly that through line in a sense of don't drink and drive, golden eagle, alcohol, etc. are dangerous, can be dangerous. But then there's kind of the detours and the kind of Nawarake-isms, the peak Nawarake, with the kava references and the jokes, which he nails, and he does an amazing job with the track, right? Like the track just like, it's a really great song, but it has this kind of like somber undertone of like the purpose of it isn't like I mean, you could almost imagine going into the song Golden Eagle that it's just like about drinking Golden Eagle, like
drinking and being at the club and celebrating the use of alcohol, and instead it's very much
it kicks off right at the beginning with like hey, like Golden Eagle, what is it, the Golden Eagle stony fly crash into a light post.
Well, one thing he says at the end is "Me follow everyone he tied," and like that kind of has similar lyrics to a previous verse where he says, "Oh mama, only cry," right? So he's pulling it together. We're like summarizing that like the mamas are upset and now everyone is just over this. Like change your behavior for the better. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because I imagine there's like a frustration with it. I know like here in Tonga when it pops up, like there's just like you can feel this kind of like frustration with like people losing their lives in these ways. And then when they lifted the curfew, once they kind of lifted all of the COVID restrictions just this month, like the kind of dark humor, the jokes that were made about it was that, well, now there's just going to be more people dying in car crashes related to alcohol, related to being out late, right? Like, why else would you be out late if you weren't drinking? And there's just kind of like, there's like jokes made about it, but also this underlying like frustration, just dealing with reality that this is probably most likely going to happen. It's very somber, but also like it's told in this kind of joking way that everyone kind of laughs, but also everyone's like, yeah, it's probably the reality. And it's like sometimes I guess it's like, how do you deal with things? You use humor as something that ameliorates that kind of tension. But
certainly,
yeah. So I don't know.
Interesting song. I'd like to know why.
Yeah. It would be good to.
He just wanted to tell everyone he wasn't a cow, I think.
That's like point of song. I am not a bullock. Stop calling me a bullock. Give me that tuluk. No twisties. I mean, I get that. Like tuluk twisties. You got. I know this is a podcast. So we can see what I'm doing with my hands. I'm doing scales with my hands. Scales with the hands and bullock and tuluk. Are much better than twisties.
Certainly.
So if I can get myself some tuluk with buluk with them buluk. Yes, tuluk with them buluk. Buluk tuluk.
Soon, love, soon.
I can't remember. How would you like? I guess I've never like, because you got tuluk with them pig. You got tuluk with them buluk. Is it tuluk buluk? Buluk tuluk?
I think you just say
tuluk, and then it's just whatever tuluk's available. I don't know. It's just like in Tonga, you got Lu Pulu Masima, you got Lu Moa, you got all different kinds of. And you just it's the Lu this or Pele. You got Pele Pulu Masima, Pele Moa, Pele Sipi. Like clearly, I keep starting with Pulu Masima because
it's your favorite.
Corned beef Pulu Masima is delicious.
Yeah, I don't know,
but it's like.
I haven't been there in a minute. We'll find out.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember. I didn't have much tuluk when I was there. And obviously, like, if you're going for tuluk, you're not like, what kind of tuluk? I mean, honestly, I don't think I ever asked what kind of tuluk it was. Just like, you get the tuluk. I remember when they made it in the village a few times, because they didn't make it that often, but they would do it, because it wasn't really one of the things that they really did, but in that particular island, but they would use, they used pig a lot, which was really tasty. It was made a lot differently. Like in the capital, it's much more like a burrito kind of style with the meat filled in. But this one was like they were like flatter, almost like where you actually could see the meat on top because it was so thin. Really tasty. But they only did every once in a while. It wasn't really a specialty on Maiwo. But I digress. Nawarake is not a buluk.
He's
and
not.
That is what we need to get.
Pox upon whoever called him that.
That's what we need to take away from the song. But certainly it would be interesting to ask the man himself. We'll see if it actually happens.
I'm not asking him about the song.
Planning to finish the album, hopefully in the next month or two. And then we'll be traveling to Vanuatu in December, and hopefully maybe do a live commentary track of the album.
Something will happen
with Nawarake. We're gonna try it. We'll see if they can make that happen. A kava session with a live comment. Not really. I guess it's live commentary. You'll just listen to it later. We certainly won't be airing it live, but
that's right.
Yeah. So planning for that. So with that said, that was Golden Eagle, track 6 on the 2021 album Vanuatu Proud by Nawarake. Next episode, we'll be looking at Nanny versus Seep Seep, which I think will be another song that's...
I wonder if he tells them which one he is.
Has a chaotic theme to it, maybe. I don't think he actually comes out saying he's a nanny or a Seep Seep. I think he doesn't think he's either a nanny or Seep Seep, based on my knowledge.
All right, well, let's not give anything away for next week.
Yeah, I guess if it was nanny. Nanny would be GOAT, greatest of all time, right? So maybe he might consider himself a nanny. Maybe he considers himself a GOAT. Or maybe he's more humble and he considers himself the Seep Seep. But
he's definitely not a bullock.
He's definitely not a bullock. We need to make sure he's not a bullock, but maybe he's a nanny or a Seep Seep. That's what you will find out in next episode. So stay tuned for that. You can check out, or as always, you can check out Vanuatu Proud on SoundCloud, on Spotify. Most of the songs are on YouTube as well, either officially released by Nawarake or other artists that are featured, or released as just the tracks by a music profile. I forget the profile name right now, but if you search for Nawarake Golden Eagle, it'll pop up.
Yep.
You can also get the full album. You download the full album. There's a link in Nawarake's Facebook page, and that link is included in the show notes, so definitely check it out and listen to the album, and show your support for Nawarake. And yeah, I think that's it. I think we're going to go have some more kava and listen to some more music that's relevant. It's relevant. All right.
It's kava adjacent.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Shells up.
Vanuatu.